Hi, this is Hope, and we survived the Polar Vortex.
Shut up and sit down.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the KF Podcast 142. Did we survive the Polar Vortex? Question mark. I want to say thank you for listening. If you just found us on the interwebs, check us out at kfpodcast.com and the KF Podcast and all your other social media needs. Also, check us out on SoundCloud. We have fresh weekly content where we talk about pop culture and other things going on in the world. We got me and Justin are via satellite.
Hello.
Brock and Dawn are at the home base.
The frozen tundra.
Yes.
The frozen tundra. And, so, Brock, why don't you fill us in about the polar vortex stuff?
All right, so the National Weather Service defines a polar vortex in this way. The polar vortex is a large area of low pressure and cold air surrounding both of Earth's poles. It always, they have that capitalized, exists near the poles, but weakens in summer and strengthens in winter. The term vortex refers to the counterclockwise flow of air that helps keep the colder air near the poles. Many times during winter in the northern hemisphere, the polar vortex will expand, sending cold air southward with the jet stream. And here's a graphic to describe this. This occurs fairly regularly during wintertime and is often associated with large outbreaks of Arctic air in the United States. The one that occurred in January 2014 is similar to many other cold outbreaks that have occurred in the past, including several notable colder outbreaks in 1977, 1982, 1985, and 1989. That's the definition of a polar vortex from the National Weather Service, which recently, this week, we shattered all of those records up until 1989, I believe. So this is the coldest.
Everything's been shattered.
Shattered.
Because it's frozen. Everything was shattered.
By this cold air.
The polar vortex. That's such a cool name.
It is. That sounds like it needs to be an NDW character or something.
Yeah, it should be
or at least a
something.
finishing move. But some of the temperatures throughout the country, I'm going to send you guys the picture right now. If I can find it.
Well, I have the outline. Some of the temperatures, that we saw?
Yeah.
Where, what was the lowest? The lowest, I think, was negative 50 and below, which is crazy. I mean, that's like Antarctica weather, negative 50 and below.
And that was in Minnesota. Minnesota got hit the hardest with this, and parts of Canada. Like there's a real small pocket of this where they're basically still shut down because it just did so much damage with the cold.
Yeah, so we were like in the 0 to 10 range. Or no, we were a little higher than that. We went all the way to negative 20.
Minus 20, yeah.
Yeah, at some points. That was in the middle of the night, though. I don't remember. I didn't
I
experience any of that. But yeah, negative 50 and below. That's crazy. In parts of Minnesota.
And they're predicting that this might happen again this winter.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. But next week it's going to be in the 60s.
Yeah, Monday is 48. But then the rest of the time it was...
So we're going to have some flooding, I think. I don't know how this is all going to work. But the worst part for me is they canceled school both days, Wednesday and Thursday. I still have to go. Wednesday, we got that little bit of snow.
Yeah.
But because everything was frozen, it was like I was driving to work on ice, like an ice rink. It was completely smooth and flat because everything was so stinking cold.
Yeah.
And they didn't bother to go out and do anything because they told everyone to stay home.
Right. That was the most dangerous. You got that little bit of snow going into the negative temperatures. My driveway was a sheet of ice. The road was a sheet of ice. It was horrible.
Like, I almost turned around and went home, which would probably have been equal distance to work. By the time
You should have just walked at a 0 temp.
Yeah, and then died. I'm like, this is why I should. I just want my wife and child to know that I had to go to work whenever I shouldn't have been.
I had to go in for the polar vortex.
But one thing that happened at our house is Hope's storm window was open a crack in front of her. I mean, her big window was down, but the storm window was up on the outside a little bit. The whole window was iced over.
Oh, really?
Completely iced over.
Wow.
So, poor thing. But it was bad. My bones hurt. It was so cold on Wednesday morning when I left for work.
Well, I know for me, I went outside Wednesday to try, because we had to get one of the cars out to go somewhere Wednesday afternoon. So I tried to go out there and shovel all the snow off, because I want to throw down some salt, because I bought some of the good stuff that goes up to like negative 20 or 30 degrees.
The purple stuff?
Yeah, the good stuff. So, look at the cat in the window. So, I go out there and I'm shoveling off. Within like seconds, my cheeks were like bright red. And then like my nose hairs like froze together. Like my nose was like frozen together. That's how cold it was. It's crazy.
It was brutal. This morning, I scraped my windows. By the time I got to the first stop sign, they were frozen over again. I had to pull over. It was so cold. The
people that I felt bad for are the delivery men.
Yeah.
Because there was like people I saw the night before on Facebook that were like, Amazon, I don't need my package. I don't care if I don't get an email. Tell them to take the day off. And then like I'm out there and they're walking up, here's your Amazon package. I felt like an asshole.
We didn't know when you ordered it.
Here's your well, I ordered it 2 days before. It's 2 days shipping. So I kind of did.
Well, they said it was up to the carrier's discretion, I think, if they were going to deliver on those days.
Not the Amazon guy. He went off on me.
Really?
I said, I can't believe they're making you work. And he was like, yeah, can you effing believe it? It's ridiculous. Can't believe I'm out here in this crap, and I got to do all this crap. He's going crazy. And they're making me train somebody today. He was like, I'm staying in a goddamn truck. He went crazy. I was like, this Amazon guy's having the worst day. He's having the worst day of his life. He's so mad about it.
That would be terrible, though, think about it.
Yeah.
But they drive, I mean, the mailman has to walk door to door.
It depends what neighborhood you're in.
Yeah, mine walked door to door, and we got mail both days.
In our neighborhood, the mailboxes are all right on the road, so they don't go anywhere. You know, they're all just, you know, they just pull up, slide down a little window, stick it in the mail slot. It's the FedEx guys and the UPS guys that are pissed off. How about you, Ken? Did you freeze?
You know what? Our house doesn't have the best window insulation, so it's been kind of cold. Not too bad. Not anything like other places. We've been dealing with it here. I didn't go out to work. I didn't have to work Wednesday, so I didn't have to go out in it, which was nice. And honestly, like I didn't see a real big influx of people at work, so. You know, honestly, this really didn't affect me all too much. So I started. I have no idea what I was talking about.
You said it didn't really inconvenience you, but you noticed.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll start talking about shit and exploding.
Yeah, what's your toilet exploding story?
Are we recording now?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're live, brother.
So I was reading about places like Chicago and Minnesota that because it was so cold, like in Chicago, it was the people started hearing a large amount of cracking. They thought it was an earthquake. It was actually all the amounts of water under the rock that was expanding because it was so frozen.
Oh,
it was causing like a frozen like rock expansion.
Nice.
Like cracking, almost like an earthquake. And then in parts of like Minnesota and Michigan, there was it was so cold when the water would come through the pipes, it would freeze, much like when you see in an experiment where it's water, but it's at a certain temperature, and once you shake it, it instantly freezes. That was happening to people's toilet water, and it was causing the water reservoir in their toilets to explode because it froze so fast and expanded, it cracked the porcelain. And then also too, you could see like ice build up around what's that called? Like a peek hole in a door to like check and see what who's outside.
People.
Yeah, so it was just like watching stuff like that, and it was so cold that like inside doors where like the hinge would be on the outside but also connect to the inside because it's a door hinge, that would be, you could see the white crystallization and freezing on those. So it was pretty crazy around places. The toilets I thought was real hilarious because they were like exploding because of the temperature, the water freezing.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
There's pictures also too of them actually like water in the bowl when it would flush down was so cold that it would also freeze.
Do you have any problems with pipes in your house?
We did the thing where you let it drip, and that seemed to work for us.
Yeah.
We always worry because our house is so old.
I put a space heater in my storage room because my pipes are out there.
Yeah, that's
And,
probably
and
a
the
good
temperature hovered around 45 in there.
idea. Good.
I'm like, well, that's good. We're holding that 45. Went down to like 42 was the lowest it went. I'm like, oh, we're getting a little
It would
low.
always freeze in our apartment because it would go from our place over to Perry's, so it went outside. So they would always freeze in that reservoir in between. Like,
My only problem I have with this polar vortex is the term polar vortex. When did they start using this? Before it was just like Arctic wind, Arctic blast.
well, it has a name now,
Now it's
and
a
it's
polar
been around forever. It's never not been there. It's
Yeah, but-
always been there.
But now it's a thing. Now it's the polar vortex. It's their way of saying we don't really know what to call this. We don't really know how bad the weather's going to be. But we can just blame it on the polar vortex because the polar vortex is going to get you.
It was quite a thing.
I don't really know what the weathermen would do if they didn't have this. They are like so excited over it. They start the show with it. 5 minutes, we're going to give you all the latest on it. Then see us at 10 after the hour for all the latest on it. You know, they
It's
go
kind
nuts.
of a big deal. I mean,
It's their Super Bowl.
It is.
yeah. Like, they canceled school both days for us, Wednesday and Thursday. We're expected to have a 2-hour delay tomorrow, but we haven't called it yet.
It's going to be like 10 degrees tomorrow. That's a heat wave.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, you
I
can-
guess the wind is going to be pretty bad tomorrow morning, but I don't
the
know.
wind-
I haven't looked at it in a while.
the wind chill. Yeah, our kids had to do those flexible work things where they like work.
See, we don't have that,
Yeah.
which we should have. I mean, because otherwise our kids are going to be going until July
Yeah.
with all these snow days we're going to have. 'cause-
It always cracks me up that the school districts, they have to make up all these days and make them go later. And then when they're going in June, they're like, I'll ask my kids, what'd you do today? Oh, we watched Titanic.
Exactly.
You know,
And you know
we
what?
played cards. And I'm like,
Pennsylvania is the only state that makes you make up these days.
yeah, it's so stupid.
Only in Pennsylvania.
It's so stupid. If you're going to make up those days, then they should be doing something.
Right.
But when they're just going because they're watching TV,
That's
then-
what they do at the end of the school year every.
Yeah,
anyway.
usually, but then they do it more because they have all
Uh-huh.
this time. Well, they let us
Yeah.
play cards. Yeah, now they just let the kids sit there and be on their phones, and the kids are all Snapchatting, and they're like,
Yeah.
yeah, they can do this from home.
Right.
It's pretty ridiculous.
That's
Dylan, what are they Snapchatting based on what you told us before the podcast?
We're not going to talk about that on here, man. Dirty things. That's what they're Snapchatting. Dirty things. Get rid of Snapchat. Just follow us on it. I never post anything on it.
yeah.
So there you go. Polar vortex. Scary.
Go ahead and put a bow on this one.
I think it's going to be warm next week, so that's a good thing. And I tell you what, Don, I will take this cold weather over a ton of snow any day.
Yeah, because I don't have to shovel this.
It pissed me off that snow had to sneak in there at the beginning of the polar vortex.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh
I
shit,
still haven't shoveled it. It's just
it's gonna freeze and well, I have to. You see my driveway,
Yeah.
you won't get out.
Mhm.
That ice rink. So
Yep.
there you go.
We haven't moved the Impreza in a couple days. I hope it starts.
It should. All right.
Awesome. That was a good one.
Yep. Ken, take us out. Stay warm, everybody.
Yes.
Take care of each
Please
other.
Please like, share, subscribe, invite, wave at Justin. Hopefully your toilets don't explode. And hopefully you don't fall in the ice. Watch out for black ice
That's
or
right.
any other color ice. And kiss your mother in the mouth for it.
Later, Polar Vortex.